morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Look, we're in Leighton Mills again. There's another empty bus by. Let's see what the sun's doing. Yeah, it's got its hat on, but it's shining out its rays. Pretty nice. Anyway, today is about mass hysteria and the basics on how to start it. Example, we'll take the case of Britain and Russia. Now, a few weeks ago, there was a poisoning. Yeah, and the way one bad thought goes to another and starts spreading. And once you've heard it once, it's reality. It's by having it on TV and the newspapers and all the politicians shouting your corner, and then spreading it as far as you can in Europe and beyond. But beyond is not listening because their eyes are opened. Anyhow, here we go. Now, everything that's happened is based on rhetoric. Now, remember at the beginning in the Russian Skripal case, there's no evidence that came from Russia at all, except the rhetoric of the powers that be. That's the Conservatives this time. Last time it was Labour. And it gives you the reality of freedom of choice. And there is no choice, they're all the same. Just different ways about doing it. Anyhow, here we go. Now, if you shout loud enough for your rhetoric, it's all based on the premise that he shouts loudest, is longest, must be right, or he wouldn't shout so loud. So the lie is believed. Not by everybody, by a lot of people. Then using the same lies, let the world know. Have meetups with other leaders and have your Cobra meeting. And you have a Cobra meeting, you know it's serious. Then try for sanctions. Then you have your best scientists at the world-renowned Porton Chemical Research Lab backing the lies up. And you keep the investigation going, so it simmers in the background, keeping the idea alive, but just out of hearing, conscious hearing. When you got your TV stations and newspapers putting it out, they have magic lines like Russian hitmen and other rubbish like that. And a few weeks later, more people in the same area are struck down. 24 hours apart, but this couple knows each other. So it happens that it was put on a cigarette butt and they were picking up butts and smoking them. That's the first line. Sounds right. I won't say what it sounds like. I'm not here to judge them. Just read out what they're doing. So I've written. Notes will be on the website eventually. I'm going to learn how. Anyway, after that, it's guess what? The Russian couple, whereas everyone knows, were targets of Russian hitmen. Again, with no physical proof. Then the rumours that again damaged the Russian one. And the loudest has been who never was a racist politician. She's shouting louder. He's Labour, by the way, that's Miss Diane Abbott. Russia asked, what's your position on this? We are not a country where you can leave your poison waste from a failed hit. Right, now that's a failed hit that was never proven, except in the minds of the politicians who devised it and then hidden the fact. And it's strange, both happened a few miles from Porton Down, which could make Novichok within a matter of 10 minutes, 20 minutes in small quantities, maybe a dilute version. Now, going back to the first one, although all the claims of the Russians were the hitmen, there's no actual proof. And there was no samples sent off to Russia to find out where it was or where it was from, so they could test it. Now that's democracy for you. Right. Again, this raises the questions on all the TVs. And they say the investigation will possibly take months, but we'll find a syringe or cigarette butts. Again, fear starts again in a country town with no reason why, except they say foreign actors are leaving their poison waste behind. Our people shouldn't be targets of Russian hitmen. Strange, so all this is happening again near Portland Down. And why is this happening, you may say? Oh dear, it's really complicated. But anyway, since the Brexit vote, more and more people are waking up to the fact, regardless of propaganda, and a core of the actors in the Conservative and Labour and other parties, they're all reading from the same script, so they can give their voters the illusion of choice. And with the illusion of choice, they can say, you have a choice of who to vote for, when in reality there is no freedom, only the illusion. One Chinese writer, I don't know his name, I should do, called Britain a hollow democracy. And that basically means, looks good on the front, there's no behind it, there's no substance, except the status quo stays the same. Now look back over the decades and see what crises were had in reality. They're all illusions of choice we've had. In reality, we're all illusions. Lately, the biggest illusion of choice was the Brexit vote. We only got the vote because the powers that be got it wrong. I didn't expect to win, so made no preparation for it. Now, if they'd have made preparation, this would be all over. Since then, the democracy in the country has been trampled, and all politicians and their news outlets have been against bringing it to fruition. The will of the people, every man in power, they're all quislings who don't want the status quo to change. Now, the status quo means nothing changes. The haves have, and the have-nots have not. That is the status quo. You're born a serf or you're born a lord. There is no difference. You stay what you are. And this is probably the last bastion of this in the world, because everywhere else is kicking it up. It just takes time to get through here, because they've got decades of saying how good the EU is and how we'll miss it and all that stuff. And they don't want to change because it'd upset their EU gravy train. And that means they'd run out of money. Now more people are waking up, over 17 million and rising. That was at the Brexit vote. Now, if President Trump would have been out months ago and living a better life, that's if he'd been in power, and the Brexit vote was enacted, it would be enacted. It'd be all over now. Now, what needs to change is the part of the political structure of the country, i.e. maximum terms for politicians, no more career politicians. Oh my, but what will we do about this, cry all the politicians. They don't want the gravy train to stop. That's pretty simple. Now, when there's no more career politicians, only the will of the country would change. Then, only then will the country change, and a status quo start to be ended for good, along with most of the corruption and the pay-to-play tactics. I could go on and on, but I won't. As always, exercise due diligence and research everything you hear. Have a great day. Bye.